Du auch? Hast auch gut gesungen.
Ja, der Fall muss ja nicht so gut sein.
Ja.
Muss doch vorbei sein.
Wie heißt der? Wie heißt der? Bahngopal. Wow, Bahngopal. 61.
Brahmara Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Tomarina Kedayalo Jagat Samsare Vina Kedayalo Jagat Samsare Patita Pavana Heto Tavayavatara Samapatita Pavo Na Paive Ara Pavo Na Paive Ara Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Sri Krishna Mahaprabhu Nityananda Premananda Soke Premananda Soke Jipavalo Kanakaro Ami Boro Sitapati Ateta Gosai Tabaki Babore Pai Chaitananita Tabaki Babore Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Ahasaru Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Bhatta Yoga Shit Shiva Prabhu Lokanatha Naya Koro Siyatsaya Babu Srinivasa Chanda Sangamage Nagotamadasha Chanda Sangamage Nagotamadasha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Koro Mori Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Koro Mori Daya Koro Prabhupada Siddhaita Dasa Daya Koro Vaishnavera Kripa Mage Narot Yadamadhasa Nayakom Gurudeva Patita Pavana Shicharanne seva mage Yepadita chana Shicharanne seva mage Yepadita chana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Daya Koro Mori Shri Krishna
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kundra Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kundra Bihari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Jai Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Jai Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachariya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Vinoda Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jai Gopijana Vallabha Jai Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajadana Jivana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, oh Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitya Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaur Hari Bol. Go Premanande, Go Premanande, Go Premanande.
जय श्री पूर्णतय सोमनाथ चंदा विष्णुस्तुत सदस्य श्रीमान भक्ति श्री नारायण महाराज श्री की श्री गौरिया वैष्णव आचार्य श्री उत्पन्नुगा भगवान की श्री सरस्वती प्रभु की श्री Prabhupada Kashyadabind ki jai, Shri Bhaktikumud Santa Gosvami Maharaja Shri Bhakti ki jai. Thanks to God, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktabind ki jai. Shri Navadvip Maya Pradhan ki jai. Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopagopi Gopavadhan Radhasamanatmaka Shri Pat Samandara ki jai. Shyama Kunna Radha Kunna Muna Ganna Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Kantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Hatmidanda ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnavin ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Wie sag nochmal? Ich habe das hier in der Suche gerade eingegeben, aber das findet ihr nicht.
On addressing Godfathers and other Vaishnavas.
Ah, okay, so this. Om Aganitimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vandeham Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanuga Pravaram Raja Rasa Rasikam Cha Narayanam Tam Prapanam Shri Guru Charanam Vande Ramana Preshta Bhutale Rupanuka Bhaktitam Cha Kripamurti Narayanam Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayamutirayed Ajanulam Pitabhujo Kanaka Vadato Sankirtanaika Pitoro Kamala Yataksho Vishvambaro Dvijavaro Yugadama Palo Vande Jagat Priya Karo Karuna Avataro Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Kshiptascha Kamadi Tarangamadye Kripa Mahitam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Charana Ravindam Shyama Sundar Shikhanda Shekhara Smirahasa Murali Manohara Radhika Rasikamam Kripanite Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Kuru Vansha Kalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Bhavane Bo Vaishnavibo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So before speaking, I offer my most humble obeisances and lotus feet of my Divine Master, Om Vishnu Pabrahmas Varaj Gachai Ashtodra Sadhu Gachai Bhaktabanda Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and the lotus feet of his dear God brothers and friends, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vama Goswami Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Tirigam Goswami Maharaj. Offer my humble obeisances and lotus feet of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who spread Krishna consciousness in the West, and my spiritual grandfather, the Lion Lekachaya Srila Bhakti Pragan Kesha Goswami Maharaj, especially also Srila Bhaktikumud Kshanta Goswami Maharaj and all other stalwart devotees of Srila Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, as well as all Rupanuga Vaishnavas and devotees of the Lord. So today is the disappearance, Tirobhava Tithi, disappearance of Bhaktikumud Shanta Maharaj, a great stalwart devotee of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This morning already we heard some of the childhood pastimes, and of that time still adds Radharaman Brahmachari. And so then later he received sannyas. So after showing all his good qualities, he at the age of 65 he received sannyas from Bhaktidatta Madhav Goswami Maharaj. So once Sri Radharaman Brahmachari asked Srila Prabhupada why God brothers refer to each other as Prabhu, and Srila Prabhupada gave the following response. It is said, Gurura Sevaka Haya Manya Apanar. The servants the servant of one's guru is to be revered. According to this notion, we address all of our godbrothers, both senior and junior, as Prabhu, so that we may cultivate a sense of being humbler than a blade of grass. If a person considers himself to be a Vaishnava and others to be junior or less advanced than him, he nurtures only mundane egotism. In the realm of spirituality, if we see each other as the servants of our guru, the notion that another is inferior to or less qualified than us will never enter our hearts. Then we will not have a chance to feel malice or disregard for others. This is the secret of addressing each other as Prabhu. If one wishes to relinquish gross egotism and become a servant of Shri Gurudev, one must not regard Shri Gurudev as servants in terms of senior and junior. As the scripture states, Tat Bridya Bridya Bridasya Bridyam iti mam smara lokanat. O Lord of the universe, I wish to forever remember that I am but the servant of the servant of the servant of your servant. We must deeply internalize this conception. In this way, scripture ordains that the servants of Shri Guru, and indeed all Vaishnavas, are to be addressed as Prabhu. Prabhuji himself also reminded me several times that I should always address everybody as Prabhu. Especially when mentioning them in class or in any other official function. And it is, as Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur points out here, necessary and helpful to have this habit of addressing all of our God brothers and all the Vaishnavas and all the servants of the Guru Parampara as Prabhu, so that we may be relinquishing our false conception of superiority or being special or more qualified than others. So instead we should see everyone as a servant of Shri Guru, and therefore to be glorious and to be glorified. Srila Prabhupada left this world shortly after the end of Sri Radharaman Brahmachari's childhood. At that time, Sri Radharaman Brahmachari's heart was broken upon seeing the regretful state of the Gaudiya Math organization in the wake of Srila Prabhupada's departure. Since he was still quite young, he felt it would be better if he were to return to his family instead of enduring the regrettable situation in which he found himself. Thinking in this way, Sri Radharaman Brahmachari expressed his desire to his father, Sri Vaikuntha Prabhu, who accepted his proposal and welcomed him home. Hearing the news of Sri Radharaman Brahmachari's departure from the Math, my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktidaita Gosvami Maharaj, arrived at his home and asked Sri Vaikuntha Prabhu, "You are the disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Even if your son is asking to return home, how can you allow it?" Sri Vaikuntha Prabhu replied, "Actually, I do not wish for him to leave the Math, but at the same time I don't want him to be discouraged and think there is no one to support him due to his having chosen another path. I don't want him to feel abandoned or unentitled to his inheritance. For this reason, I have allowed him to return home. If you prefer him to remain a brahmachari and return to the Math, then he can go with you if he agrees to it. I have no objection, and I would in fact be pleased by this." Guru Maharaj then discussed the matter with Sri Radharaman Brahmachari, and they left together for the Math shortly afterward. Although my Guru Maharaj was not a sannyasi at that time, he requested Srimad Bhakti Vichar Yavar Goswami Maharaj to give sannyas to Sri Radharaman Brahmachari. Srila Yavara Goswami Maharaj accepted the proposal and gave him sannyas in the Kshir Chor Gopinath temple in Ramuna. Since that time, he has been known as Srimad Bhaktikumud Santa Goswami Maharaj. We have never heard about this incident from anyone, including our Guru Maharaj, until Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj himself spoke about it during Braj Mandal Parikrama in Vrindavan, as well as in our Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Chandika. Srila Maharaj would often declare, I have been tremendously benefited by the affectionate guidance of Pujapat Madhav Maharaj. He saved my life. What would have happened to me had I stayed at home? He saved me from great danger. I think this is also something we could see a little bit. Then when Srila Gurudev left, then some feeling saddened by the state of the Sangha that naturally manifests after great Acharya leaves, that they return to their homes or return to their regular life that they had been inspired and taken out of by Srila Gurudev's tremendously tremendous preaching. So also for us, not always easy to maintain our inspiration and determination to go through hardships and sad periods or low periods and without Srila Gurudev's presence. So anyhow, then by the mercy of another Vaishnava, Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj, then we may receive again some inspiration. So in the same way, Srila Gurudev, he has left many very qualified representatives and who are continuously inspiring us to progress further on the path of bhakti. Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj and my Guru Maharaj were among the many disciples of Srila Prabhupada who stayed in Shyamananda Gaudiya Math in Medinapur in Bengal. Although Guru Maharaj collected many donations and purchased the property for constructing that math, he did everything in the name of Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj and not his own. Such was the affection that he had for him. Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj used to say, I am not the master of anything or anyone. I am only a servant. As long as my godbrothers accept my service, I will give it. Should they no longer be interested in receiving it, I will see who will give me shelter and stay over there. So Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj obviously was the object of affection to his senior godbrothers. He was quite young, and especially Srila Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj, he gave so much affection to him, took care of him, and even arranged for him that he had a project, a place to stay, and to take care of him, to serve. Many people would come to the Math just to hear Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj's beautiful Harikatha and Kirtans. Once he accompanied Guru Maharaj to Jammu with a preaching party. Although he sang Kirtans in Bengali, a language the people of Jammu do not understand, many people were nonetheless attracted. Everyone in attendance appreciated his Kirtans so much that they would repeatedly request him to sing, and so he sang a kirtan about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Varna chora kota matai chaivare. Oh, You who have stolen the complexion of Srimati Radharani. You have intoxicated us. Where now do you wish to take us? After returning from the daily Naga Sankirtans held during the program, he would sing the following song, which dripped with rasa acid emanated from his lotus lips. Nagara Pramiyayama Gora Elogare Gora Elogare Ama Nita Elogare. After roaming through the towns and villages, my Gora has come back home. Gora has come back home and my Nita has come back home. Jula Jari Shachi Mata Gora Kole Kare Jula Jari Patmavati Nitai Kole Kare. Brushing off the dust from his body, Mother Shachi takes Gora upon her lap. Brushing off the dust from his body, Mother Patmavati takes Nitai upon her lap. Also, we follow the same tradition when we come back from Parikrama Sankirtan. Then also we sing the same song. Also, traditionally, in the Gaudiya Math and on our Parikrama, we take Mahaprabhu with us. And Mahaprabhu is with us also, especially just if we just go out and sing the holy names. So then this Gauranga is coming with us, and then we come back to our home. So Gauranga returns with us and then is welcomed. So beautiful song. As the preaching party for that trip was quite large, two programs were held each day. Although Srila Maharaj was not proficient in speaking Hindi, his Harikatha was simple and easily understandable for all, and it therefore attracted many people. Honoring the requests of the residents of Jammu, he performed kirtan and spoke Harikatha twice daily. Whether he was attending a meeting, arranging a festival, or sitting as chairperson to an assembly, Srila Santa Gosvami Maharaj was always extremely punctual. We have seen that if he was presiding over a function and someone spoke Harikatha beyond the allotted time, Srila Maharaj would immediately interrupt him and terminate his address. If the speaker was junior to Srila Maharaj, he would grab him by the ears and order him to sit down. And to seniors, he would politely but firmly request them to stop speaking. Okay. He did not tolerate inattentiveness. If he observed anyone, whether a brahmachari, sannyasi, lady, child, or whosoever, doing anything besides sincerely hearing during the time of Harikatha, he would reprimand that person without giving them a chance to speak, saying, "Please leave. You do not know the etiquette of sitting in an assembly of Vaishnavas." Funny, he's quite strict. He would reprimand that person, and if that person would try to make some excuses or say, then he would not allow them to come to speak any words. He just chastise them. Yeah, the Vaishnavas, they give all their mercy when they speak. Also Gurudev, he would always, if he saw people sleeping, he would wake them up nicely. Don't sleep, Srila Gurudev would say. Yeah, I remember one, I was very young still, very early, that time when I received Diksha with Pran Govinda Prabhu in Berlin. I remember one program, Gurudev also in the Hari said, if I just recently I did last year when I did the transcriptions, then I got to listen to that same class, And then I knew exactly, you don't know who Gurudev is talking about. He says, don't sleep, stand up. Stand up. And I knew like he's addressing me, and I was like, no, don't let me. I was just looking at Gurudev, please don't ask me to stand up. So embarrassing. Anyhow, I was like, felt when Gurudev did like that, you would feel so much anxiety, No, he also asked me to stand up, but I was like, no, please don't let me stand up. Nobody knows I fell asleep, only you, Gurudev. Yeah, and then also Gurudev many times then he would sometimes during Harikatha, then he would ask Krishnadas to sing kirtan to wake everybody up. That again have focus for the class. Yeah, I remember. Don't sleep, Gurudev suddenly in the middle of Harikatha. Once a Mataji came to hear Harikatha with a grandson who was approximately 1 or 1.5 years old. When the boy started crying loudly during the katha, she tried to pacify him. Seeing this, Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj told her, "Do not stay in this assembly any longer. Only attentive people who give first priority to Harikatha are welcome here, and not anybody else. You think the care of your grandson to be the utmost importance and Harikatha to be secondary. Do you think this is a place where people can sit and do whatever they want? Our time is very precious, and we have no interest in wasting it. Please leave immediately." Yeah. Bringing the child in the first place, I guess. If Srila Maharaj ever saw that a person who had dedicated his life to brahmacharya was not following the required rules and regulations, such as shaving on Purnima, he would chastise him and say, "Why have you accepted the cloth of a brahmachari? You're only cheating yourself. Stop trying to ruin your life. Simply follow the teachings of our Guru Vargas. Even if you do not understand the purpose of each and every principle, you will be benefited by following them." Once Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj hosted a function at his Bihala Mat in Kolkata and invited many different... Yeah, I try. I don't think I ever managed to fall asleep during Harikatha, but I've managed to fall asleep while leading kirtan. No, it's possible because then, when the others repeat what you have been singing, there's enough time to fall asleep. I'm advanced at top level at falling asleep, properly trained. Once Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj hosted a function at his Bihala Mat in Kolkata and invited many different guests to speak. Among the guests were a number of disciples of Srila Prabhupada, including Shishimad Bhakti Bhudeva Shroti Goswami Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada's grand disciples from various mats, such as Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj and myself. His face displayed a lack of interest during the assembly, and when it came time for him to deliver his lecture, he spoke Mayavad philosophy. Sorry. Also, Also invited was an old Brahmana university professor from a local college. His face displayed a lack of interest during the assembly, and when it came time for him to deliver his lecture, he spoke Mayavad philosophy. He declared, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahma, along with other different Mayavada slogans. After the professor finished his speech, he rejoined the other speakers on the stage and continued to look visibly disinterested during any subsequent speeches. When the time came for Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj to give his speech, Srila Maharaj asked, Are you a Brahmana? Are you Brahma? The professor answered, Yes, I am. Srila Maharaj asked, Then is it true you do not undergo vikara, means change or transformation? Correct, I do not. Then, with one hand gripping his sannyas danda and the other clenched in a fist, Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj rose from his chair and charged at the Mayavadi professor, mimicking as if he were going to beat him. Viscerally startled, the old man flinched in sheer terror. Srila Maharaj repeated this 2 more times, and the man recoiled in fear in both instances. Srila Maharaj declared, You are not Brahma. Brahma is nirvika. It never undergoes change, it never reacts to anything. No one can harm Brahma. Brahm. And therefore Brahm will never react in any situation. By becoming fearful just now, you reveal to the entire assembly that you are not Brahm. In so few words, Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj exposed the old Brahmana's philosophy as false. With the entire assembly, including the children, very loudly laughing at him, the old professor felt mortified and begged Srila Maharaj for forgiveness. Well, quite hardcore. I've heard Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj speak on his opinion about Sri Chaitanya Dev's teaching to Srila Sanatana Goswami Pad. Jivera Svarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. Therefore, it is incorrect to say Jivera Svarupa Hoy Gurura Nitya Das. Therefore, it is not incorrect to say Jivera Svarupa Hoy Gurura Nitya Das. Why have you accepted this point of view? Because since time immemorial, I have been wandering about the universe in different forms, accepting bodies of the different 8,400,000 species, and only in this lifetime has Krishna manifested himself in front of me as Sri Guru to bless me with everything. Thus I consider that form, his form as Sri Guru, to be eternally worshipful. When I was preaching in Rangoon, I wrote an article titled Brityara Parichar, the identity of a servant, in which I included a poem of mine that expressed the following. The glory of service to Sri Guru Pada Padma exceeds that of service to Sri Krishna. Why? While it is true that the jiva is constitutionally an eternal servant of Sri Krishna, the conditioned soul has forgotten this relationship due to his aversion to him since time immemorial. Sri Gurudev is the giver of Sambandha Gyan, knowledge of one's eternal relationship with Bhagavan. As one engages everything, body, mind, words, in serving him, he becomes Gurudeva Tatma, one in spirit with Sri Gurudev. Then by Sri Gurudev's mercy, the practitioner gradually realizes the purport of the teaching from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Rupa Krishna Kripa Karena Bhakta Gane. In the form of Sri Guru, Krishna bestows his mercy on the devotees. Interesting, Jivara Swarupa Hoy Guru Ranitya Das. That means Pran Kupal Prabhu. genius, but here there's a speciality. Like Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj, he slightly altered this verse. He says, Jivara Svarupai Gurura Nityadas. So so what does that mean? Guru Nityadas. So what does the verse say then? Yeah, what he says here is Jivara Swarupa Hoy, the eternal nature of the living entity is to be a servant of Shri Guru. Eternal servant of Shri Guru. That is the nature of the living entity, to be an eternal servant of Shri Guru. This is true. Srila Gurudev, he also said we have Guru here, and we also have Guru there in the spiritual realm. We are under guidance here, and we are also under guidance there in the spiritual realm. Here we are a servant of Sri Rupa Goswami, and there we are servant of Sri Rupa Manjari. Or more specifically, here we are servant of Sri Guru in his form as a Gora Parika, and then in the spiritual realm, we are servant of Sri Guru as Guru Saki, as a associate of Radha and Krishna. Why?
Why the Guru that is Nitya?
Why are we eternally servant of Sri Guru?
Why Jiva is eternal servant of Sri Guru?
Because this is how it's been. We always because Srila Rupa Goswami says Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Kamadi Navritam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. This is Anushilanam means under guidance. Pure devotional service is under guidance. It is never independent. It is always in the line of Guru Parampara. It is that we never become independent of Guru Parampara. Also in the spiritual realm, Guru Parampara exists, and we serve within that line. We dedicate our service to Srila Gurudev as a manjari in the spiritual realm also. Then Guru Saki, he will give to his Guru, who will give to his Guru, who will give to his Guru. Finally, that service will come to Rupa Manjari, who will offer it to Lalita Saki, and Lalita Saki, under Lalita Saki's guidance, then it will be offered to the divine couple. So this is how we are built. This is how it is made. But the point that Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj is pointing out here is, it is Krishna himself who manifests as Sri Guru, who mercifully appears in this world to give his mercy. Therefore, Krishna wants to give his mercy, wants to give his compassion. Therefore, he appears as Sri Guru, so we may become his eternal servant. Not to speak of the stage of sadhana bhakti, even in the liberated state, when the soul is situated in his eternal nature, none of his efforts bear fruit without the guidance of Sri Gurudev. Even in the stage of Vastu Siddhi, the Jiva's attainment of Shri Shri Radha Krishna Yugala Kishore's service is dependent on the guidance of Shri Guru. Therefore, Shri Guru is the embodiment of Bhagavan's mercy, and his mercy is not limited to this world alone. It is said, Shri Guru Charana Sadya Tahara Sevaka Nita. The lotus feet of Shri Guru are truth, and I am eternally his servant. This relationship of servitude, what does it mean? Shri Guru's lotus feet are truth? Tahara Sevaka Nitya. Yeah, Nitya Parakamala. Nitya also Akanta Guru Tattva. Nitya Pada. No. Nitya Charana Satya. Tara Savaka Nitya Nitya Pada Sada Kuru Ash. So what does it mean that they're eternal? That they're the truth? It means they're eternal. And their service to them is eternal as well. The relationship of servitude that the disciple establishes with Sri Guru Pada Padma at the time of Diksha is eternal. Even in the perfected stage in Sri Krishna's eternal pastimes, this relationship exists in a special form. Thus, in order for the jiva to realize his position as the eternal servant of Sri Krishna, it is absolutely necessary for him to serve Sri Guru Pada Padma. For this very reason, Srila Rupa Goswami has stated in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vishrambena Guru Seva Sadhu Vatmano Vartanam. One ought to render intimate service to Guru and follow the path of the sadhus. Sri Gurudev is the personification of Sri Bhagavan's mercy. In terms of potency of mercy, Sri Guru and his Sri Bhagavan are one. Bhagavan possesses all potencies. Among his potencies, his mercy potency reigns supreme. All other potencies of his are subordinate to this potency. Although Sri Gurudev is not omnipotent, the omnipotent Bhagavan is under his sway due to the power of his prem. Therefore, the mercy of Guru is all in all. So, it says here Gurudev is not omnipotent. No. He receives potency by Krishna, like we've read in Madhurya Company. He received potency of giving kripa, of giving mercy and compassion by Krishna. But how really is Gurudev's mercy all in all is because the omnipotent Bhagavan, the him who has all power, is controlled by the love of Sri Guru. After I completed this essay, I gave it to my senior godbrother, Shri Bhakti Sudhir Yachak Maharaj, who then sent it with great delight to Sri Dham Mayapur, where it eventually reached the lotus hands of Srila Prabhupada. Once Srila Prabhupada read it, he gave it to Sri Pranavananda Brahmachari to read and said, "What Radharaman has written is correct. It is a matter of great delight that he has gained such spiritual insight at his young age." His conclusions in this essay are perfect and factual, and it should be published in our magazine, Dainika Nadia Prakash, for all to read. Later, Srila Prabhupada personally sent me a letter conveying his blessings to me. Vaishnavas like Sri Srimad Bhaktikumud Shanta Maharaj and many other disciples of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur are Mahan Vibhutis, great personalities. Their lives, their conduct, their thoughts, their vision, everything else about them is such that we become increasingly astonished the more we hear and speak about them. Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj, being very merciful to me, gave me the opportunity to serve him in various ways. Once my Guru Maharaj sent me to Puri along with our Pujapat Yashoda Jivan Brahmachari, Pujapat Acharya Maharaj, and others for the important work of acquiring the property of Srila Prabhupada's birth site in Jagannath Puri, which we know is especially established by Bhaktivedanta Bhatti Maharaj's endeavor. While we were there, we stayed with Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj in a small house he had purchased for the purpose of converting it into a mat. When the time of Sri Ratha Yatra festival came, I sent Gauranga Prasad Prabhu to humbly request Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj to allow us to stay in a nearby Dharmashala during the upcoming festival, since many of his disciples would be coming to stay with him in the small house. We could return after the festival, but we did not want to impose on Srila Maharaj or his followers. Upon hearing our request, Srila Maharaj affectionately yet firmly replied in great surprise. How is it possible that I can accept this? The words, "Yes, you can stay somewhere else," can never come from my mouth. Why? Because the work you came here to do, purchasing the property of Srila Prabhupada's birth site, was actually our duty, since we are his disciples. But we have not made the slightest endeavor for that, and we see that you are very enthusiastically accomplishing this work. Therefore, it is impossible for me to accept your proposal, and I request that although we are unable to provide you with so many facilities, please make any necessary adjustments with the facilities we are capable of providing, so that you can peacefully stay with us. A Vaishnava never considers, this place is ours and we can manage everything. Everything should be done according to our desire. Instead, they think, no, this is not our place. This place belongs to the Vaishnavas and we are its members, not its owners. We will cooperate with whoever comes, accommodating them according to the available facilities. Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj later gave me the opportunity to construct a proper mat at the side of that house. He asked me, "This is such a small place, but my disciples are telling me that you can create a decent plan and layout for the construction of the mat." I mentioned, yes, but because it is small, it cannot be constructed in a rectangular manner. It should be done in a parallel way. The ashram can be on one side and the temple can be on the other side. He replied, "I don't understand parallel construction, rectangular construction, or any of these things. Please just do it in such a way that everything will be properly done." After that, I made the plan, inspected everything, and oversaw the entire construction process. Very nice attitude there of Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj. Huh? Kijai, yes, Kijai. Like we can see with Prabhuji also, these like so many Vaishnavas come there, like from Puri, Bengal. Whenever they come, then Prabhuji just, if they want to cook, then Prabhuji provides some opportunity to cook. They want to do kirtan, Prabhuji provides some opportunity to kirtan, and to do program according to their, style. And he just provides whatever facilities necessary for that, provides the boga, provides the facility, so they can perform or go on parikrama, all these things, I mean, that's always so amazing with Prabhuji. He always his attitude is less of, it's mostly about facilitating the devotional tendencies or inclinations and just providing whatever is needed so that devotees can perform devotional service according to their inspiration So Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj, he shows similar attitude here, like saying, this is not my temple, doesn't have to go according to how I want it. Just if he says if somebody comes and is enthusiastic and honoring Gurudev, enthusiastic in Guru Seva, then he just adjusts accordingly. Another time, he wanted to organize a large festival for the inauguration of a mutt he had built in Keshiyadi, in the district of Bardhaman in Bengal. Bardhaman, they mean Bardhaman. This is Bardhaman or Bardhaman? It's probably the same. Yeah. They had invited the king of Puri to be guest of honor at the festival, but he declined. Knowing that I had a friendly relationship with the king, Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj wrote to me, ordering me to convince the king to attend the function. On Srila Maharaj's order, I visited the king, and who said, I have already told them that it is not possible for me to attend. I jokingly replied, from that sentence, just remove the word not, and then it will be possible. The king then told me that although he wanted to attend, he had an engagement elsewhere at the same time as the festival. After inquiring further, I came to know that the mutt was on the way to his other engagement. I told him not to worry and that I would arrange for his travel and everything if he would agree to visit the mutt for a short time on the way. Hearing this, the king accepted my proposal. I then personally brought the king to Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj's mutt for the inauguration festival. Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj ordered me to speak Harikatha on that same day. I chose to explain about the need for a Gaudiya mutt in Keshiyadi, a place known for its abundance of temples. In such a place, it would seem as if there would be no need for such a small mutt, due to its proximity to many different temples. I explained that despite this, there was in fact a dire need for Gaudiya mutt, because even if people had the opportunity to go to the many temples there, they would never have their hearts changed. But the mutt is a place where people can make their lives successful by smearing all over their bodies the foot dust of pure devotees. Here a spiritual teacher will be present, and those who want to become real, sincere spiritual students will be welcome to come, learn, and practice. The mutt exists for the well-being of such persons and provides a great opportunity to its visitors to become fortunate by taking the mercy of the devotees residing there. The association of such sadhus learning the true deep meaning of the Shastras is inevitable. Actually, this is truly a remarkable quality of the Gaudiya mutt. Like most temples in India, you can go there and you can offer some worship, some prayers, but the service of the mutts, is reserved to a few residents. Usually it's family lines, dynasties, who take care of a specific deity and the different services in the mutt. But the Gaudiya mutt actually offers, as they are like universities. They offer space for any sincere spiritual student to come and learn and practice and become sadhus themselves, really. So that is quite special how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has arranged his temples, that they're not just temples, but they're actually education centers. And like Srila Prabhupada, Swami Prabhupada has said, like a house for the world to reside in, offering space to any sincere soul to learn and then like, there's many examples. What is the Gaudimat? Like a hospital, it is like a bag of stones being shaken and therefore becoming smooth while they bang on each other's edges. So this is, like many temples, they will not be willing to have this type of system because it's very exhausting. Srila Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said it costs many gallons of blood to make somebody into a devotee. So most temples, they will not, give facility for this type of opportunity, because it is, they want to perform their Thakurji Seva nicely, and keep the temple running, but they, to deal with people who are not properly trained, not properly educated, and then educate them and train them, and then with that also comes, everybody doing mistakes, not doing it properly, which is just part of, becoming successful. That we inevitable, we make some mistakes and then we learn from them. Or if, unless we're in first class association and of first class intelligence. So it is our duty to remember Vaishnavas on their appearance and disappearance days. To neglect this rule is certainly an aparadh. We should definitely pray to him to continue to bestow his mercy upon us. During our time in Keshiyadi, Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj and I received the opportunity to visit the appearance place of Sri Rasikananda Dev, a disciple of Sri Shyamananda Prabhu. The devotees there wanted to offer pranami to Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj, but he flatly refused, saying, "This is the place of our Guru Vaga. How can I accept pranami here?" Instead of accepting the devotees' pranami, he offered pranami to them. Also, like here, if we're here and we receive any donations in the temple, then we should actually offer that donation to the temple. And this is the proper attitude. Anyhow, so here Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj seems to point out more of his own relationship with Srila Santa Maharaj. And just here, conclusion. The following are a few of Srila Santa Goswami Maharaj's teachings that left an indelible impression on my heart. In order to taste Bhakti Ras, two components are indispensable: a realized speaker and a sincerely inquisitive listener. Our inability to experience this Ras is solely due to the absence of either of these two requirements. Such genuine transcendental experience can never be achieved through a mere act of imitation. Okay, Go Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Shah Hare
Shri Bhaktikumud, Shri Bhaktikumud, Gosvami Maharaja, Shri Bhaktikumud, Shri Bhaktikumud, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Bhaktikumud Sant Goswami Maharaj ki jai, Shri Prabhupada Parashad Vrinda ki jai, Srila Goshadas Baji Maharaj ki jai, Satya Goswami Sachidananda Thakur Vinod ki jai, Vaishnava Sabhama Shri Jagannath Baji Maharaj ki jai, Shri Rupa Gopur Bhagu ki jai, Shri Rupa Shri Sanatan Bhadraganath Ji Gopal Vidrashana Sargoswami Guru ki jai, Praise God, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Radha, Shri Sri Guru Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Shri Radha Mai Dham ki jai, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Ganga Tulasi Bhakti Devi ki jai, Nara Singha Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai, Shri Charu Shamadaya Charu Charu Charma Charu Dham ki jai, Anant Kodi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Sankara Bhakti Vrinda ki jai, Taiko Premanandi.
Krishna